Hello everyone. I kind of forgot to record this advance, so I thought I would just kind of commentate over it. Mostly because I need some videos to upload because as I'm playing a lot of training for Onslaught as well as doing the OCS tournaments, I'm not playing as many advances, so I don't have as many videos to upload. So I thought I would just show you this one. So we're playing against Gast. This is probably like a 1300 elo clan. That's international. I decided that I just want to push City straight because IMO kind of a lot of people are not ready for a straight 1-2, straight 9-0 push or City push, and we see double Dravik on 1-2, meaning most likely they're playing either heavy 1-2 or enough where we can just push the City straight and kill whatever's here. As they're pushing with so much, we don't need to push out the City with so much, so I stopped sending stuff back. Because they have basically two options. They can either keep on pushing or keep on pushing and go to mid. And that's basically the two options. I mean, obviously they could just stop and go back to A line, I guess, if they technically wanted to. But highly doubtful that they're going to do that. But they give us basically a type 5 for free. Obviously, this guy was meant to delay us pushing the City when we did it, so they would have more time to push out the 1-2, but I don't know, luckily for me I'm pushing City straight, so it doesn't really matter, and it's basically just a free tank to kill. Now they keep on trying to push out 1-2 here. They obviously turn to mid because they know there's not that much things that they could catch going 1-2. But they just decide to stop pushing out the 1-2. And yeah, I mean, now they just die for it. I mean, these two guys out here just die from the K line or K6, so they will just die over time. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't just like overpeak on the Chief and try and kill him, just so they have like a split map. Because if that Chief lives, I can quite easily reinforce the K line and just kill whatever is close. But yeah, they don't do that. Obviously, they're just bleeding a lot. We're 10k up. Obviously, we got 4k on the Type 5 Heavy. And we got quite a lot probably on the K line. Obviously, I can't see it because I'm out of render. But yeah, now I've just decided I want to probably just push the K line because the game is effectively over and there's nothing better to push at the moment because I can pick up them 3 guns that are close. But they decide to basically go in and I guess try a desperation push or just go in and die. And yeah, that's really it for this game. Not really much to say other than, I mean, yeah, they just didn't catch anything on 1-2. I mean, they eventually killed the Chief, but it was like, you know, they lost so much health for doing it. Their only play would have been to come back to base, like basically straight away. After seeing that there was nothing there, but even then, I mean, yeah, they would have probably just had to split map and just basically go do a full 1-2 camp. That would be their only option. Right, here is the next battle on Proko South. IMO, this was, I mean, at the start of this game, I asked for double fat tank for mid, like double type 5 or double mounts. I didn't get it, but it is what it is. This is just a heavy mid strat. The idea of this kind of heavy mid strat is to basically get the ball control, to push them down from mid, and then kind of decide what you want to do afterwards. Obviously, 9-0 is normally the option you do, but you can also dump over the mid, but it depends on some things of what thing you want to dump or what you think is better. Sometimes IMO, if there's a tank under the hill in like E0, I find it better to normally push 9-0 because it's just basically a free gun, but you can also go like dump over the 6 line if you wanted to, if into the type 5. It was obviously we get a lot of info here with they have a Manticore, obviously. So he most likely he's 1-2, and our EBR, or their EBR was mid, so it let our EBR go deep on the hill. We obviously get spotted leaving here, and there's, I mean, it was very little, there are very little ways of being spotted on this cross back, which basically meant he was probably most likely 1-2. He could have been, I guess, E6 with the Type 5, but it would have been quite unlikely. So you'll see in a sec, I go with Strike, and I can see that you know, this fence is broken. Oh, yeah, you see this fence is broken. 1-2 always has these fences that you can look out for, and you can see if they're 1-2. So now we know the Manticore is an E1, and that's how we were being spotted in mid. So we can start blind firing E1. We now got spotted on this rotation. I think it was just from the Type 5. Technically, you should always go a long way for this. As you know, I mean, there's no reason to get spotted on this cross. This is just my bad. I didn't think the Type 5 was peaking that high because we have an i7 in the bowl, but whatever. At this moment in time, like, they could have done a few things. Like, IMO in my brain, I mean, a very good clan will see this rotation happening, though I think probably it was only like maybe 1 or 2 people getting spotted. But they might make a rotation off that info and think that you're full hill and then push the mid or dump over the mid. They could have done this in this time, probably, especially because I only have double Dravik mid, which are quite, I don't know the right word, weak, I guess. It doesn't have a lot of armor, you know, you can't really bounce anything or don't have to perfectly aim at a Dravik to pen it. So that's why I send like 3 guys here to then reinforce the mid quickly if they dumped over the mid, as well as enough tanks on the hill to push over and kill this Dravik or push down the 9-0. So, yeah, at this moment, nothing happens, basically, or we see nothing happening. And there we go, we kill the Manticore. He was in E1. So, now DBR and 1-2 should push her up. Technically, I shouldn't need to say this, but, you know, it is what it is. So yeah, now because the Manticore is dead, we basically get like a very aggro deep spot with EBR, meaning their EBR most likely has to return to 1-2 to either clear our EBR or just sits to make sure he's seeing a 1-2 push. Technically, here we could have probably pushed down 1-2, probably, as we have this EBR on the 3 line that spots the A line rotation. So most likely we would have been fine here to push that. We probably also could have just pushed over the D line. However, I was thinking we have 4 out. Some guy said there was 2 on 1-2, so, and then someone also said there was a Sturv and A0 as well. So we know the Sturv is there, so he's not 1-2, so 1-2 is quite easy to push out in that regard, as well as we have that EBR on the 3 line to spot the rotation on A line. So, like, in hindsight, probably A line was the best play, pushing out with like 6 probably. Just in case they did reinforce, we have enough to shoot them. And then probably just drop into the 3 line if we think there is too much. But I decided we can push over mid. Obviously, they're going to be rails, most likely, in this scenario. But I think we can just kill mid. And we have enough in the mid to shoot them on the rails if they repush. I technically should have waited for the STRV to get off the hill. But yeah, I was just kind of just like, let's just do it now. Fuck it, it's fine. Obviously, their EBR clears our EBR, but we trade 1 for 1, so it's completely fine. And now they have no EBR, so even better for us. We could technically just go down 1-2 with our EBR and spot everything. And if our Sturv was not on the hill, he could have just gone to E1 instantly and started killing basically everything. He could have killed A2, he could have killed Type 5, but, I mean, we're not in a rush, but on Proko you should be pushing at around the 6-minute mark, in case there are some things holding you up, so you have a bit more time to finish the battle. Here I'm only pushing over four tanks over the mid because I'm expecting them to be full rails, and I don't want my team to be fully stuck in the 5 line. If they decided just to leave the rails and just split map at that moment, it would be kind of annoying to break it. I mean, it's still breakable, obviously, because they only have 2 on 1-2, so we'd have to send probably four tanks there, or maybe just 3 would be enough to kill it. But, you're running the clock down a little bit. But, so I just thought, we'll just keep 4 in mid, and they can snipe if they repush. So obviously we kill this Type 5 on the move here. They strike themselves here, which is very nice. Thank you for that. And as you can see, they're mostly rails here. And they're being forced to repush here. Because, I mean, they can't let us get this 6-line control. But they could have also just stayed on the other side of rails, but again, I think it would have been a slow death for them. I make a shield, obviously, here for Black Magic. Well, that's his original name, BMW. And as you can see, like, because we have a lot in the mid, we can punish this quite heavily for them repushing. Obviously, you will lose health for doing this from the guy on the hill. That's why it's kind of always nice to kill the guy under the hill if you can, but obviously not in this situation, could I? So, we kill the repush. BMW lives here, which is fantastic. And now Kushti is all the way up in the 3 line, so he spots this Dravik. He can also spot the other Dravik soon as well. But yeah, as you can see, we have basically full control now. They have no ABR. It is just a case of pushing out the 1-2. I am a bit slow in doing this. It's mostly because I didn't see Chris on the top here. For some reason, I don't know, my mind just blanked and I just didn't see him. So I didn't think we had enough, so I had to call Trista over. I didn't have to, but I called Trista over to push it out. But then I was like, oh wait, we have Step Bro in the middle, as well as Starkiller and Chris, so we can just push it out. And we have Eclipses there as well, so we will definitely win that side. I tell Black Magic to go here just to spot the rails, so we can see if there's anything there. Kushti probably would have seen it, but he was saying he wasn't going to spot the STRV. And he could have double bushed the Dravik if something isn't on the rails. But yeah, as you can see, it's 8-6, we're up 2k. It's, you know, basically the end of the game now. We have all the map control. There's 3 minutes left, so, you know, as I was saying, you know, if they did split map, it would have been a bit, you know, iffy to do this play. Or, you know, you'd have to do it quickly to push out the 1-2 and make sure you're not getting time pressured a lot and starting the cap on time and stuff, but yeah, it was fine here. I mean, my team started to kind of throw here because she is just doing funny things, and Trista dies here, but yeah, I mean, the game is over no matter what here. I just tell my team to go cap now because I don't want to lose. So yeah, I'll just speed up the game now because yeah, nothing really happens. But yeah, this was quite an old strat, IMO. I think, I mean, I don't know who was FCing, but it felt like someone that was FCing from strats that were like used like 2 years ago. I mean, this still is used now from top teams, but this used to be what the regular camp was on Proko. And yeah, I mean, it's still very usable. I mean, the Manticore going E1 is a bit crazy, but yeah, I mean, this is just a normal camp on Proko. Okay, here's the next game on Sajanki. I kind of guessed that they were gonna hard camp on this map, to be honest, just from what they played on the Proko. So I expected a camp to happen. Obviously, this setup is very campy. You know, they have 3 E3s, an STRV, and a V4, and double type 5. They have no pushing power, and they also have a Manticore, which just tells you that they are sitting. My original plan here was to try to do something I used to do, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, when Shijangi used to be in the map pool. I learned this, I think, from the Killzone, I think, when he was playing Advances that time ago. It might have been even been longer, actually. It might have been 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah, the idea is to try and get your STRV to K2 and start shooting these Draviks. However, you need to make sure there is no light tank in H1 before you do this. So at first, we are just making sure that, well, we're just seeing if there's a Manticore or something in H1 in the bushes. Our EBR says that there probably is, the way he's being spotted. So obviously we do think this. I'm just peeking here to basically guarantee that he is. I'm spotted here, you know, he's right there. So, like, I mean, like, judging by their tanks, I probably could just push this side. They have a lot in the city. And like enough close where I think you could probably just do it. I mean, most likely they have probably I mean, you're guessing that they probably have a 279 on the 1 line somewhere. He could be B1, he could be E1, he could be H1 on the house. The server's obviously unspotted. He's going to be somewhere covering. They have a Dravik unspotted and a V4. V4 will probably be somewhere in the factory. There's not really any other place for him. He could get and technically give a hold down somewhere for someone, but, you know, like, it's very unlikely anyway, but he could. So technically you could push that. I'm keeping this I7 in the gap here, so he can counter the Z3 if he tries to look down this rail, or like this alleyway. I don't really know what to call it precisely, but yeah, he's there to watch down that. And I'm just rotating to push the A line. I'm rotating to push the A line because there's an I7 close, and I think that's just basically not a free kill, but he's pretty easy to kill. But as I was mentioning, I could probably have just pushed both sides, and I think I win here. However, I would probably have to take a bit more time and probably bring out like double VKK out of the factory and into the K line, probably to make sure I have enough tanks to push it, because I mean, I only have, what is this? It's like, is it 7 or 8 mobile tanks? But yeah, if I have enough, I would obviously, if I was pushing the K line, or yeah, you know, from the K line, I'd probably push like 3 out to H1, and the rest would just play against the Dravik, and I would have eventually an EBR probably pushing down the 1 line to spot the STRV to be wherever he is. Obviously now we spot the V4, he's in the town, so another tank in the town, so, you know, it is not scary, but it's a lot harder to push the factory because they have so many tanks there, so, you know, pushing the K line out could have been possibly better here, but, you know, this is what I decided to do, so I do it. And now, yeah, we're just pushing over this I7. Obviously, we have to make sure he can't come up, because he might spot our STRV, and the STRV maybe kills him, or whatever. So we just need to make sure we hit our shots. I should have technically probably stopped and aimed to make sure that shot pens. I'm making sure I'm hitting some people with strike in a big location. It was mostly to stop people sitting in this little area here, which is a really annoying kill. Now we're just pushing on the Dravik. Obviously these people on the top are shooting us, but it's fine. They obviously don't have a lot of DPM with the V4 and E3. E3 hits my track anyway. But now we're under here with enough tanks where they can't really do anything. That was like a whole reason you push the factory at the same time, so they cannot come on this ridgeline. Giggity, but yeah, they can't sit on this ridgeline basically and shoot your tanks going under. Because we have so many here, and I striked here, they can't sit anywhere close, and they have to basically sit in the low ground, and they will just be useless. So, yeah, now we're just making sure that our city doesn't get overpushed, as well as making sure we kill this Dravik, though only our STRV can do that. Now we're just making sure this 279 dies on the C3. Obviously their health is starting to become, even though, you know, we pushed in first, our health is starting to be up 3k. Another reason you keep a guy out wide is to make sure that they can't come on the outside. They can't like sit where Kushti is now, or like sit here without pushing him out. So yeah, now obviously they're trying to push the city because it's the only thing they have to do. But our team have come back in time where they're not going to be caught with most, and the I7 from the K line has come in to make sure we have a bit more health into the game. Though he loses most of his health instantly. But yeah, obviously now they can't push onto this outside because we have our STRV and A5, and the game is, I mean, it's basically over now. So there's not really much more to say. I mean, their serve farms a bit because, you know, we're sitting on the outside with like these people out here, and Commerce went in the open, but it's fine. The game was over. So I will just speed it up until the end of the game. And yeah, a nice easy win. Okay, so the final game is on Steps North. I mean, this setup that the enemy is using looked like either full 1-2 or probably just a camp, I guess, because they only have one EBR and they have an E3. But most likely, you would have probably guessed it is 1-2. Though the E3 pick is a bit weird, IMO. I don't see why you'd ever pick an E3 here. And we spot them with our EBRs because their EBR went mid, making it so that our EBRs could go deep on the 9-0. Basically, they have 2 out. We have, I mean, you could say, I guess we have 3 out. I mean, it's equal number, I guess. They have an EBR out with IS7 and E3. We have double EBR out on STRV, though the Sturv will get into the game quicker than an E3. So, I mean, I called this saying the first 5 tanks should go here. Though you could maybe drop it down to 4 because there's not a lot of room, as well as you don't want to give them a big amount of tanks to strike where they can't move. But anyway, here we go. We go forward with enough. I think now that's 5. Obviously, for them, here is a lot worse for them to be striked. They probably will have to leave this strike technically, but yeah, I mean, obviously I'm kind of safe here, so I have to sit here and wait while I'm at the strike. Obviously their strike is doing a lot of damage here, but my strike is kind of better than theirs, forcing them to come to the top side, and at which point we should have really good positions. Obviously this position is basically the best from our side. It can stop this peak and this peak, and we also have this peak, which is completely safe, other than, you know, them people there. But, you know, still a bit of a stretch. Obviously, we're 2k down. Obviously, we have 1 EBR more than them. So, well, we did. GH4ST went in and died. I guess he went to the E3 and died with HE or something. Whatever. But that's why we're down a bit of health. Though, you know, we're still confirming more guns than they are. I mean, they have these 2 people being on the outside, which are completely useless. And our STLV can farm them. But yeah, I mean, they're just in kind of terrible positions. We will eventually kind of kill them all, because they've pushed up on this. I mean, they have an E3 completely out of the game. The Sturv is doing nothing compared to our Sturv, which is doing a lot. And now we can start flanking them. And yeah, basically the game is now over, because, well, we're 5 guns up and 5k up. So yeah, kind of cooked for them, unfortunately, I guess. Depending on, I guess, who you're rooting on. But yeah, I mean, you know, they put up a bit of a fight at the end, getting some kills. But I mean, yeah, I mean, we just kind of really just outplayed, skilled them. I mean, there's not really much we can do, or they can do. Sorry. You know, we're basically a 1500. Oh, we are a 1500 Edel clan versus, you know, 1300 Edel clan. It takes a lot for them to win a game, and they would have to basically try and catch me out in some way. But yeah, that was the advance for this. I kind of hope you enjoyed this style of video. If you enjoyed this type of video, you know, I can make more, technically, maybe against some other people. Let me know if you like it, and I'll consider making more. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.